Hello and welcome to Doing Business in Guyana webinar series. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about how you would go about getting set up and doing business in Guyana. We've already done one of these webinar series before, and that was previously about a month ago, which gave you some information, a little bit more information about preparing and doing the research in order to come to Guyana to do that, to do your business. So this one's going to talk to you a little bit more about planning the trip. Today, my name's I have with me a bunch of guests. Let me take you to the next slide, please. So you can see Guyana is pretty much at the epicenter of a lot of commercial activity that's taking place around the world right now. We're situated on the north coast of South America, and we've got very good proximity to North America, the US and Canada, as well as to the EU, and we've got some signs showing you how far London, Paris, as well as the coast of Africa is. We've had phenomenal growth in Guyana, so there's 44% GDP growth last year, and there's a pretty big economic boom which is likely to take place for the next 5 years. According to the IMF, we've got about 14% economic growth every year up until 2030. So today with me on the panel, we have a bunch of guests. My name is Robert Lee, and I'm the founder and owner of Readiness Group, GuyanaBusiness.com, and Gateway Guyana Holdings Incorporated. We would have ordinarily had Mandisa Brady, who is our legal director, and she would have been here to tell you a little bit more about some of the legal aspects of how to do business in Guyana. Unfortunately, she's been called away on an emergency today. We have next to me Fiaizi Baksh. Fiaizi is our cloud digital architect, and she works for us to help build software. We also have next to me Richard Leo, and Richard is the director of the American Chambers of Commerce based in Guyana. And just next to him, we have Dahana, who is senior manager of client relations at the Guyana Bank of Trade and Industry, GBTI. We also have joining us as well online Pamela and Sodia. Unfortunately, Pamela can't make it, but Sodia is there as well. And Sodia is she's the corporate sales manager for the Guyana Marriott Hotel, which is one of the biggest hotel chains based in the country. So we set up our business in Guyana remotely and securely ourselves. And this is how we're going to tell you how to do it for you, your business. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned before, the webinar series comprises of 5 of them. The first is we've already done, and it's about starting your business from ideation and research. This particular one is focused mostly on planning your business trips. So it's looking at things like business culture, trade connections, and so on. And then there's a few more which are planned in, such as setting up a new company in the country, getting your business bank accounts set up as well, which is webinar 4. And then we're also going to be talking about business operations from a technology, people, and process basis in webinar 5. So the first webinar, we examine with a pestle analysis some of the political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors that would affect your research or decision to come and invest in Guyana. Quick recap of that is that from a political point of view, Guyana's got a very stable government. Economy-wise, you can get lots of up-to-date information from various sources. We recommend places like the Office of Investment, any of the chambers, especially the American ones, are very, very active. Of course, you can find out information as well from GuyanaBusiness.com. We have an app, and Fiaiz is going to be telling you a little bit more about that later on in the presentation. In terms of social factors, English is a predominantly spoken language here, but Spanish is becoming increasingly more important. From a technology standpoint, there's I think a few, 3 or 4 different mobile carriers as well. Signals tend to be very, very good in populated areas. Of course, if you're traveling in, you can check with your provider whether roaming is available. However, we 100% recommend that when you arrive here, you use a local provider, a local cellular provider, to be able to swap out the SIM card and use that instead. It would be far more cheaper for you to do so. Environmentally, it's Guyana, right? So it's tropical, it's humid. If you come here, you're going to need to wear linen and cotton clothes. Don't come in anything very thick. Legally, there's no restrictions as far as we're aware from the UK, US, or EU to do business over here. And next slide, please. So we're going to tell you now about planning your business trip to Guyana. So why would you come to Guyana? Well, we definitely suggest that you come here to meet your customers. And the way how we did it was that we lined up about 2 or 3 beforehand, before actually coming into the country. You want to make sure that you're coming here as well to do things like your company setups too. It is quite a big capital expense to come into the country. So you want to make sure that you get everything condensed as much as possible prior to coming in. Of course, you want to meet people like suppliers as well. And you may want to attend things like business networking events. There's a particularly big one, which is an energy conference that usually takes place here annually. And it has lots and lots of people who end up coming to it and doing networking and so on. Of course, if you're here as well and you're quite far along in your journey in terms of getting your legal registration set up over here, then you want to find out from reputable banks like GBTI about getting your business banking set up. And we certainly recommend that you come here to make sure that you understand things like local market trends, speak with everyone here, because it's very, very unique, and it's a joy to come here as well. Honestly, you will love it. I would certainly say that you should probably tie it in with something like one of the bigger events. Matrimony is a good one. That's the Republic Day in Guyana, and that's around about February time when that happens. Next slide, please. So when to go? So for business travelers, if you're planning a trip during coming into Guyana, we certainly think that you should come around about like the drier seasons, and that's between August to April. However, the weather is very good all year round. For things like ecotourism, though, you might want to come when it's a little bit wetter, because places like Kaieteur Falls, for example, that can dry up during patches of low rainfall. So yeah, it goes the other way then. Ideally, we recommend you coming for at least 2 weeks just to make the most of your trip, because you'd want to fit in a few social activities while you're here to better understand the people and the country that you're coming into to do business. So public holidays. As I mentioned before, Matrimony is the Republic Day. There's also Labor Day, and there's a full list of public holidays which are listed in the Guyana Business Community app. And like I mentioned before, Fiazi will take you through some of the information which is available in the app towards the back end of this webinar. So let's get ready to go. Here's some information that you need for your pre-departure before coming in. So visas, right? If you're a UK citizen, there is visa exempt status. You can stay up to 30 days. For US citizens, there's no visa requirements. Canadians, again, it's visa free. You can stay up to 90 days. And for EU citizens, it's a visa free entry as well. All of the links are available inside there. So there are some other entry requirements as well. Some of them vary depending on which country you're coming in from. So you may need to prove sufficient financial resources for your stay. You may need to provide evidence of onward or return airline tickets, and where your intended accommodation is going to be in Guyana as well. Things like declaring cash exceeding $10,000 US, you need to do that. And of course, you need to declare any prohibited or taxable goods as well. Again, the information is all linked from there. So, as I said before, Mandisa is our legal director, and you can do your business in terms of legal representation in Guyana remotely and securely. It does require creative thinking because there is no legislation that currently covers things like digital signatures, which means that everything needs to be wet signature signed. So you will, what we tend to do is that we will provide printouts of all of the documentation that you will require. We'll get you to sign that and with wet paper signatures, and then those documents need to be notarized, and you need to provide Mandisa, for example, our limited legal power of attorney, so she can execute the function on your behalf as proxy to do your business remotely and securely here. Forex. So the currency in Guyana is the Guyanese dollar, and it has denominations varying all the way from $20 up to $5,000 notes. Most commercial banks offer Forex services. GBTI, for example, who are here today, will happily do that for GBTI customers. There's also licensed cambios, which offer currency exchange services that are widely used, and they offer, you can find reputable cambios which are listed off of the Bank of Guyana website. So today we are going to pass you over to Dahana, who is going to tell you a little bit more about GBTI.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining us. For those who are new to the seminar, well, this is my first time here. I'm Dahana Ramjes. I'm the Senior Manager, Client Relations at GBTI. Next slide, please. So just want to tell you a little about GBTI. We're Guyana's largest indigenous bank, and we've been here from the onset of the first commercial bank in Guyana. And with 180 years of experience, we bring knowledge, dedication, and we have the support for you to achieve your goals. We currently have 12 branches spread across Guyana, and we're in almost all of the regions except Region 10, and we have our head office right here in Kingston, Georgetown as well. Our bank is led by our CEO, Mr. Sean Bertrand, and he's supported by our Chief Operations Officer, Kubina Griffith, and our Chief Commercial Officer, Revati Mohandev. Next slide, please. All right, we're just going to talk about some of the products that we have for businesses. We have business loans. These can be in Guyana dollars as well as US dollars. We have executive MasterCards for businesses, invoice financing, which we recently launched, and is a product that was specially implemented by GBTI for suppliers within oil and gas sector. For companies, we also offer online services. You can process transactions online, do your payroll, transfers locally, transfers overseas as well. We have services, international wires. You can send or receive wires to your account here in Guyana. We also have cambio services, like Richard would have mentioned earlier, and that's available to clients of the bank. If you want to have any more information on any of our services, you can visit our website at www.gbtibank.com. Just for those persons who are coming to Guyana to set up your account, from Richard's end and Mandisa, in our next webinar, they'll tell you more about what are the documents you need to set up your business in Guyana. But for us, two things to mention. You need to walk with a passport and a proof of address. And also for a company's account, we ask for a reference for each director of the company. So if you're new to Guyana, you can get a reference from your bank, or if you know someone in Guyana, you could get a reference from some reputable person or business that you have a relationship with before.
And they would do that over in the country that they're coming in from as well.
Yes, so the reference has to come from your bank overseas. We also have foreign currency accounts for businesses. This can be US dollars, sterling, Canadian. Please know that this has to go through an approval process from the central bank. So this is not immediate. This may take some time. So of course, we need to show the central bank that you have a need for a foreign currency account, and they will grant an approval or deny that account accordingly. At GBTI, we also offer ATM services. We have ATMs at 28 locations across the country. These are at our branch locations as well as offsite. So you can use your Visa card, your MasterCards at our ATMs, and you get $1 cash. So we advise that you use your card, or you can also use cash within the country. That's also accepted. So if you want to know more about opening of accounts, you can join us in Series 4. Thank you.
Next slide, please. Next one. So airlines. In terms of airlines, there's a few of them. The list, by the way, that we have up here is by no means exhaustive. There's British Airways, there's JetBlue, KLM should be joining at some point. We believe I think it's in June. American Airlines, United, and there's many others as well that operate from North America into Guyana. If you're looking for a flight right now, and we'll just going to be very open and honest about this. We're going to caveat that by saying that the flights will change in prices, of course, depending on availability. So if you're looking to come from the UK to Guyana, you're expecting to spend about $650 US. From the USA to Guyana, you're looking at about $500. From Canada into Guyana, you're looking at about $750. And from the EU into Guyana, well, we don't know as yet with what KLM's flights are going to be like, but we think it's going to land around about $1,000. And you can find some of the information on here from the links below. Next slide. So things like transport and transfers. So taxis are readily available mode of transportation around Georgetown. They can fluctuate in terms of fares. Of course, it's the old adage, if you sound foreign or you're from overseas, they might whack up the price a bit. It's advisable to either agree on the price beforehand with the driver just before commencing your journey, just to make sure you're okay. For more reliable and potential services, you can utilize locally established taxi providers. Car rental services are also available throughout Guyana, particularly at the airport. You can find that, and there's agencies including Avis, Massey Services, and there's plenty of other services available. Okay, in terms of accommodation, Guyana Marriott is here. So I think Sodium might be the best person to tell you a lot more about that. There's also other hotels here, like Aden from Best Western. There's a Ramada, which is the Georgetown Princess Hotel. And of course, if you go into the GuyanaBusiness.com app, you'll be able to find information about great places to stay. It's also available on GuyanaEstate.com as well, where we'll list things like Airbnbs, as well as other properties which might be available to buy or lease or rent. Short stays, hotels, we definitely recommend them. You are going to be accustomed to certain amenities, and hotels will be are the best places to find things that you're accustomed to. So you're going to get great Wi-Fi. You can pop downstairs to the lobby, grab a drink or get some food, which is locally prepared for you. For things like budget stays, 100% we think that you might want to look at things like Airbnbs, especially for long-term stays. So this is any kind of trip that's above like 3 weeks. All of this information, again, as we mentioned, is available in the GuyanaBusiness.com app. And regular discounts and promotions, we're hoping to start applying those into the app so you can find out much more information in there. If you're looking to find that, like I said before, the perfect spot to come to, then you can head to GuyanaEstate.com, which has all of the information about local providers, things like Airbnbs. We're also going to be putting up some information inside there about Aden, Marriott, and all the other hotels as well. So you can have a wide variety of choices to choose from in your stay in Guyana. So Saudia is going to tell you a little bit about what's happening at the Marriott Hotel, which is one of the biggest, and we literally stayed there yesterday and today. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So Saudia, please take it away.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the call. As I said, I'm Saudia Nur Muhammad, the Corporate Sales Manager for Guyana Marriott Hotel. Our hotel is a luxury brand that has been in Guyana for we just turned almost 10 years. We're not just catering for your short-term stays, long-term stays. Staying at the Guyana Marriott is more of an experience. We have 3 restaurant outlets, a gym, and we have large ballroom spaces and meeting rooms to fill your needs. So we just wanted to share a little bit about our current promotions so that I can help you in planning your upcoming stays with us. Next slide. Staying with us once you go through the Rees group is that you will enjoy a 15% off rooms that are including our standard and executive level rooms. And these discounts are applicable to Marriott Bonvoy members only. But don't worry, we are part of this program is that we will be signing you up so that you can also enjoy points as you stay, among many other benefits that comes with being a Marriott Bonvoy member. Additionally, next slide, is that we also cater for persons who have bulk stays. So maybe as a company, you guys will have 10 or more persons that will be coming at a time. We do have a discount that will be applicable. Next slide. Thank you. Yeah. So like I just said, so right now we have a specific promotion where it's from ends up to April. We have that fixed rate of $399 plus tax. But even outside of that period, if you're planning your stays later in the year, there are discounts that are available for group stays, but as applicable based on your dates and the volume. We can go into more than that. Once we reach out to our team, we're able to create a package for you. And that also kind of relate to your events. So next slide. When it comes to our events, so you're coming to Guyana, you may have a new company, a new launch. You may want to use our facilities to do so. That is greatly done and has been done since Guyana's economics boom in the last year, 2-3 years. So you may want to look at that option, as well as we do have quite a lot of meeting rooms that you can have and plan your business days, your business meetings, make those deals. This is just a bit of something we wanted to show you in terms of packages that we do have as it relates to the type of events that you would like to have. Even if it's a bit outside of business, maybe it's personal, we do have those packages available that are available throughout the year. And of course, as time goes by, we are constantly adjusting and tailoring and tweaking our packages to suit the demand. All right. Next, we just want to end by saying that when you stay with us, we're more of looking to tailor what we do for every client, from your stays to your events to our restaurants, which is the next slide. Especially for companies, because we understand that everybody's needs and demands are different, and that would say what we do differently, and that's why we currently operate as a high demand hotel. So for our restaurants, we have quite a few deals that are available every night. So we have thematic dinners. Our popular nights are Italian on Mondays and Guyanese Wednesdays. Next. So we have something new, something that is available every Saturday, which is called Jerkin Things. We wanted to bring a Jamaican flair to our Saturdays. And right now we're having, this Saturday, we'll be having one of Eldorado's, which is Guyana's rum. He will be coming to lead as a brand ambassador. So that's something, if you guys could have known this a bit sooner, you would have probably planned to come for this Saturday. But we just want to show these are some of the things that we do. From time to time, we partner with persons key in the industry so that once you have your stay here, you have so much more to look forward to in our property. Next. Right. So as I would have touched on before, I'm glad that they put this back just again. So you will stay with us, but you can definitely enjoy a preferred discount as opposed to what everybody else is paying. So that's something you should pay in mind. And yeah, that's the Guyana Marriott for you.
It's amazing, Saudia. Can I come to that one on Saturday, please?
Please. Tomorrow. Please come.
I can't wait.
You're here. Come.
I'm here. I'm there. I'm definitely coming. So
Great.
yeah, all of the information that Saudi has mentioned to you just now, you can find the information which things like corporate discount and so on is all available on the GuyanaBusiness.com community app for app members, and you can find the information available in the notice board. So scan the QR code that will help you get registered, and then once you're registered and you receive your login, then you'll be able to access the info. And I'm sure over the course of the year, we're going to have lots more promotions coming in there from Saudi and the team at the Marriott, as well as any other hotels and accommodations that we'll be speaking to over the course of the year. So we're looking forward to have you join and benefit from those. So next slide, please. Business etiquette, right. So when you're leveraging contacts and you're seeking introductions through reputable organizations, you can do this via the U.S. Commercial Service, U.S. Embassy in Georgetown. That's a highly beneficial place to establish connections with potential business partners. Obviously, things like personal introductions carry significant weight when you're trying to establish your business over here. Guyanese business culture places a high value on trust and personal connections. So please definitely take the time to engage directly with the local population. And you can talk about, pretty much anything. Family is a big thing. Local events, cricket especially, is a definite, relationship building must if you're over here. And it helps to build things like rapport, and it fosters a more positive business environment. Health and safety. Please definitely make sure that when you're over here, especially when it is anywhere, like really in the world, if you're going to go to a bank or you're visiting ATMs, then you make sure that you're using legitimate exchanges. And this applies not just to Guyana, but pretty much anywhere that you go in the world. So displaying crazy opulent signs of wealth as well, we probably advise against that. Things like excessive jewelry and stuff, because it could just bring unwanted attention. It's advisable, it's advisable definitely to stay in accommodation that has good security protocols in place. And there's obviously some amount of petty crime, as in anywhere. But what we say is just be mindful and vigilant, basically, when you're in the country. In terms of things like transportation, best to use reputable taxi services. And at GuyanaBusiness.com, we also have an executive travel and concierge service, which you're going to be able to see on our website from next week. Next, health considerations. So tap water in Guyana is generally, it's okay, but I wouldn't drink it if you're from overseas and you've got a different constituency, right? We certainly advise that you drink bottled or purified water, which is, again, readily available in shops or at the accommodations that you're staying at. Basic health services are available in Guyana. So there's General Hospital is a great place to go find if you've got any particular health needs. Travelers, you may need to look at specific insurances that you might have from the country of origin that you're coming in from. The hospitals and doctors in Guyana are first class, though. So many of them as well, it depends on if you're going to a private surgery, for example, may actually ask for upfront payment before accessing the healthcare. We certainly recommend that you take precautions, especially when it comes to things like mosquito bites. It is a tropical country, literally very, very close to the equator. So, bring your insect repellent. Make sure that if you're, especially in the evenings, wear something with long sleeves, because that's when they usually tend to come after you, right? And things like long trousers. We certainly recommend that you sleep with a mosquito net if it's an open out space. But if you're in a hotel, you don't really need to worry about those things. Key business sectors. So again, there's lots of information about this on the GuyanaBusiness.com app. So you can find things about agriculture and mining. There's key exports as well, with things like sugar, bauxite, rice, and gold. Of course, if you're coming here, then one of the biggest reasons is because of the oil and petroleum and gas sector, and it is the major driver of economic growth in the country. Other areas that are growing rapidly, and we'd certainly recommend that you have a good look at them, are things like agro processing. So this is anything to do with, um, agriculture, or indeed the kind of processing of that agriculture after it's been cultivated and farmed. Manufacturing, specifically in things like construction and so on, construction materials, is definitely big. Forestry is also another big one to look out for. There's ecotourism businesses which are springing up around Guyana, and why wouldn't you do it? Because Guyana is full of a lot of natural beauty, and there's much more interest in those particular areas. Of course, all of these things are now buoyed up by ICT, so again, that is something that is prevalent in the country as well. Tourist attractions. You're going to come here, we want you to come and see places like the Kaicho Falls. It is wonderful. Largest, or the longest, if I can't remember which one it is, but single drop waterfall, which is located in the Kaicho National Park. There's an incredible area called Iwakrama, and it is purpose built for basically ecotourism activities. Of course, you can look around Georgetown as well. It is a very old colonial town, and it has lots of old sites, such as I think it might have been at one time the world's largest concrete cathedral, but I could be wrong in that. And there's plenty of old, colonial buildings that you can go and visit as well. Rupununi is a beautiful place as well. It's a savanna. There's lots of grasslands. There's also Shell Beach, which is located in the northwest. And Mount Roraima, if you're that way inclined, is absolutely stunning. It's a huge tepui. If you've ever watched that movie, I can't remember which one it is, but it's a little animated one with a kid. They took a lot of inspiration from that. Next one. So, are you ready to travel to Guyana? So we have a checklist here, and this checklist will give you a score on how ready you are in order to come into the country. You obviously need to sign up to our app, and that will give you information about it. Again, Fiazi will tell you a bit more about that in a second, but in there you fill it up and it'll give you a score on how well or how ready you are to come in. So who can support you? Well, we've got amazing people here. The Chambers of Commerce is probably one of the best places to go, and the American Chambers is extremely active in this front. There's plenty of business networks and connections that you can get off of leveraging the Chambers. The Office of Investment, which is called, it's got a few names, Go Invest or the Guyana Office of Investment. It's a great place to get market intelligence and information about things like concessions, if you're bringing in large machinery and so on into the country. Commercial banks, of course, you will find out good contacts in terms of reputable partners in there as well when you speak to people and you're starting to do banking over here. There's plenty of government ministries as well as government authorities who can give you support on the information that you need in order to conduct your business here. And of course, the embassies and high commissions, which are usually available in your countries as well. So, any Americans looking to travel to Guyana? I'm going to pass you over to this man who's been waiting very, very patiently, Richard Leo.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. So my name is Richard Leo, and I serve as the Executive Director for the American Chambers of Commerce. So maybe if you can go to the next slide, I can share with you a little bit about what we do. So the AmCham is a not-for-profit, and what we do is we advocate for U.S. firms' interest in country. We also do have some local firms which would make phenomenal partners if you're looking to find a local partner in Guyana. We also assist firms seeking to do market entry and market development into Guyana, as well as Robert just mentioned, doing an investment agreement or trying to find those tax holidays. We can also assist you in hand-holding you through that process as well. So a little bit about what we've done in the past. So we've done several, we're planning to do a trade mission to the US, whereby in May 13th to the 15th, we'll actually be supporting the US Caribbean Business Conference. that business conference actually would be targeting the healthcare, the energy and infrastructure, with potential tours for the Port of Miami and Port Everglades. And just to sort of take a 30,000-foot view looking back as to how do American firms plan their trip to Guyana, here are a few key practices I would suggest. First of all, enlist in the U.S. Embassy has a STEP program on the U.S. State Department website. I would suggest that that's one of the first things you do. Secondly, you look at the U.S. Travel Advisory and just bear in mind what you should be doing while you're in country. Ensure, if you're thinking of doing business in Guyana, ensure that you have a good local attorney and a good local accountant. We're happy to assist you in finding one if such is needed. You may also find that when applying for a bank account, you would require a tax ID number. So visiting the GRA website and ensuring that you have all the relevant documentation prior to coming to Guyana, that would be certainly an asset. So with that, I'd like to conclude my session and hand it over to Robert. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richard. And like I mentioned, we're here to help. So a lot of this information in terms of resources, FIIC Batch can now tell you about in the GuyanaBusiness.com community app.
Hi everyone, I am Fiazi. I'm one of the technical minds behind this Guyana Business Community app that you've been hearing multiple times throughout this webinar, and you'll probably be hearing about it throughout our entire webinar series. So what exactly is the Guyana Business Community app? First of all, it's our one-stop shop platform where you're going to find access to everything business related, from companies to contracts to networks, everything. So there is a QR code that is on the slide that you can scan to get access to the app, but you can scan, get access straight away. In the meantime, I'll tell you what exactly the app has for you. Next slide, please. Good, so it's everything in one app. First of all, the main attraction to the app would be bids and contracts. So they're updated weekly from private sector, public sector, government bids in all different sectors, from oil and gas to construction to much more. So they're all there available for you, and they're updated weekly, and you are reminded constantly of these contracts so that one of them could be your next business contract. Next slide. So what else does the app have for you? Second of all, we have a company directory. So we have both local as well as international companies. This includes, for Guyana, local content supplier. What this means is that you're able to provide oil and gas services in Guyana locally. That is a requirement. The next thing would be investors. There is a wide variety of connections in the app for you. So you might find your next potential investor in the app. We also have property listings. So as mentioned before, Guyana Estate. It's also available in the app. It has commercial properties, apartments, and so forth, all there available for you, the latest deals. Then we have business resources that are in our notice board. So a few deals and a few discounts were mentioned earlier in the webinar. They're all there in the Guyana Business Community app. So what are you waiting for? Next slide. Good. So now that you know a little bit about the app, you can get your exclusive access today by just scanning that QR code. Upon scanning that code, you should be prompted to sign up. After you sign up, you will receive a welcome email within 24 hours, and then you'll get your access to the app, and then you can just start taking advantage of all of the free content that's in the app waiting for you. For any app support, of course, email us at appsupport@GuyanaBusiness.com. I'm happy to answer any questions or just make the app better for you. So just to sum it all up, why should you use the app? There is a ton of business opportunities, bids and contracts, networking, resources, free deals. So you might as well. So lastly, everything in the app is completely free. You just need to sign up. Have any questions, just reach out to us. And don't forget, the checklist as well is also included in the app, so you can have access to it there. And that's it from me, my end.
Thank you very much, Fiazi. And Fiazi is absolutely right with that. The app, and we intend to keep that entirely free for users. We want to make sure that you find the very latest deals. I think the last look was probably around about 20 bids and tenders from various organizations, whether they're government ministries or whether they're private sector bids that you could go for. Please definitely take a look, because we are absolutely trying to encourage as many businesses from around the world to come into Guyana and invest in the country. It is growing. 44% GDP last year. You know, you can't make this stuff up. If you look at your bank account, for example, in the UK, you're getting about 4-point-something% in terms of interest on a current account. The economy here is set to grow by about 14% every year for the next 5 years. So we can't wait for you to come in. The next webinar is going to be run on Thursday, the 8th of March, 2025. So please make sure you, if you haven't done so already, fill up the form and register to join. But if not, yeah, we just hope that you plan your business trips and come into the country safely, and you could do your business with us remotely and securely with GuyanaBusiness.com. So we look forward to seeing you in the next webinar coming soon. See you later. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.